Tybee Island, Georgia, a new day is dawning. New mercies from the limitless energy that sits at the center of the solar system. The sun is 109 times the diameter of the Earth, 1.3 million times larger in volume. At its core, the sun fuses 620 million tons of hydrogen into helium every second. 150 million kilometers from Earth, yet despite this distance, light travels from sun to Earth in a mere 8 minutes. Solar energy. On the surface of the Earth bursts forth another continuously renewed cycle of energy. Water, H2O. Sun and water, both essential to life, both relatively free and abundant.
For 25 years I've worked in order to run engines off sun and water. And we're getting ready to start an expedition or adventure that starts here at the Atlantic Ocean and winds up the Pacific. 5 days, 2,600 miles off sun and water.
Dr. Cliff Ricketts, agriculture professor and alternative fuels researcher at Middle Tennessee State University, has a dream that one day a generation will drive on the natural energies of sun and water.
Oz, you may want to ride with Travis here. Oh, okay.
Ricketts and his team of students, mechanics, and engineers are embarking on a journey clear across America to draw attention to a new technology that fuels automobiles on hydrogen generated by solar power. For the 64-year-old Ricketts, the coast-to-coast journey didn't begin today. More than 25 years ago, he started experimenting with alternative fuels, including hydrogen, which can be made from natural gas but can also be separated from water. Even before the first mile of the long journey, Dr. Ricketts explains the process to a Savannah TV reporter, why he believes hydrogen fuel is so critical to America's future.
If we have a war in the Mideast, I have no doubt that gasoline will go to $10 a gallon.
Ricketts doesn't want to see that happen, but he wants America to see that we have an alternative. So across America, he shows the process to anyone who will listen.
It goes into the grid line right here.
Showing how he uses solar panels to produce energy for the Tennessee Valley Authority's Green Power Switch program that comes back to him as credit, which he uses to take hydrogen out of the water through electrolysis. The hydrogen is captured in propane tanks, then compressed, before being transferred to the car's fuel tanks.
5,000 PSI.
Tennessee native and farmer Terry Young is Dr. Ricketts' right-hand man and co-driver. A former ag student who has worked with the professor since an MTSU student in the late 1980s, he is a self-taught mechanic. The team that will be putting hydrogen to the long test includes Azad Alexander, an environmental engineering student and Kurdish American, Travis Owen, a former student and mechanic, and Mike Sims, an electrical engineer from Michigan with a career in the military. A former student, Rick Presley, now a Florida entrepreneur, is also lending his support. The coast-to-coast trip on hydrogen from water will take the team across America in 5 days, ending in Long Beach, California. But today, it's just beginning, as they leave the palm trees of Tybee Island and cross over onto the mainland, into downtown Savannah, Georgia.
I started thinking about this in 1978. The Ayatollah took our hostages in the Mideast, and it was almost like they were blackmailing America. It just made me mad.
Desperate to do something for the American farmer, he turned to the brainpower of his students, building teams to find a solution. With help from Terry Young, who works in the ag shop to this day, along with Terry's brother, they began experimenting with hydrogen.
And really, it was just a big high school chemistry type unit with a cathode and an anode and distilled water.
Ricketts is the first to tell you those days were primitive.
And we ran the engine for 2 minutes. Then I asked myself the question, have we possibly created a pseudo or false hydrogen bomb?
At that point, Ricketts and his team backed off for a few years over both the reality of hydrogen's danger and a lack of funding. But as we'll learn over the course of this 2,600-mile journey, his research did meet with success. It's why he and his team stopped all along the way in places like Macon, Georgia.
We're attempting to go from coast to coast just off sun and water. Now, how do we do that? We do not put solar panels on top, and we do not put water in a gas tank. That's one of the 1,000 ways it doesn't work.
In minutes, Ricketts has explained the process of converting the sun's energy to produce hydrogen fuel from water. Shows the reporter one of the large tanks that help provide a 360-mile range. Enough to go on a long trip like this one. Still, some say he's crazy.
And maybe I am, but this has been a passion of mine.
After a quick test to show the reporter how smoothly the Prius drives on hydrogen, it's back on the road and back to the story of the long journey. Where did we leave off? Oh yeah, that mini bomb. In 1987, it led Ricketts to a man named Roger Billings and solid polymer electrolysis.
So what I could do with that car is I could actually drive it home, plug it up to the faucet, plug it up to the electric unit, and run that car, charge it overnight, and that hydrogen would go into that metal hydride tank. We set the speed record, and that led us up to where we are today, is looking for efficiency.
Yeah, changed vehicles so we could stretch them out. Doc decided that before, because when we left Tybee Island, Doc always had a plan, and basically he planned the trip, and so Doc wanted to stop, about 30 miles or so outside of Atlanta without hitting traffic to refuel, because there would be no real place to stop, and with as many vehicles, we didn't want any safety issues. We're all engineers, and Travis was the mechanical engineer. In my mind, I had a feeling that if we had any problems, he would be able to solve it. Also, as a hobby, he just, fixed tractors and fixed different engines.
Yeah, you're good.
Mike was in charge of course, the data.
Yeah. Didn't lose any pressure on this one.
So he would take all the data down of when we stopped, how many miles.
Crank it back up a second.
The exhaust is water vapor, some say clean enough to drink.
So what I believe is going to have to happen at some point, we're going to have some grant or some money designated to start putting some hydrogen fueling stations in.
Ricketts managed to make it through Atlanta, stopping in Marietta, Georgia for another opportunity to sell his dream.
This vehicle here has 2 carbon wrap tanks, 4.2 kilogram. A kilogram of hydrogen is roughly a gallon of gas, so it has a 370-mile range. We end up tonight at Fort Smith, Arkansas, just right on the Oklahoma line.
Day 2, and the second leg begins on a rainy day in Murfreesboro and a radio interview.
We have at the university to show that there's a system so that we can run our vehicles daily just off sun and water. So my mission, my purpose is to show that there's a viable alternative to gasoline.
The first stop is Jackson, Tennessee, to take care of another mission on the trip, meeting with employees of his major sponsor, Tractor Supply Company. Co-driver Terry Young gets back behind the wheel heading for Memphis. For Young, it all started with a farm power and equipment class more than a quarter-century ago.
I guess Dr. Ricketts saw that I kind of had maybe a natural ability of mechanics, and so he started asking me to help on some of his hydrogen projects.
Without hydrogen stations, the challenge of a cross-country trip is refueling. Of all the challenges, Young says making a coast-to-coast trip has been the most daunting.
We're trying to use every strategy we can to utilize our fuel in the most efficient way.
Fuel economy on this trip is critical, but hydrogen is more efficient than gasoline.
It's cleaner burning fuel. You don't have the waste like you do in gasoline and diesel and some of your other fuels.
Got a big milestone up here in about 30 miles.
A year ago, the team made it here, Conway, Arkansas, on hydrogen, before converting over to other fuels. Tonight, March 11, 2013, they are passing that milestone.
I think hydrogen is fuel of the future. Is it cold?
It's still pretty cold though.
It's still, I think it's frozen.
Man, I think it's
frozen.
I think it is frozen.
It's frozen, Doc.
The team determines they need to slow the rate of refueling to keep the tanks from freezing up.
Frost. Or is that dust?
I think it's dust.
Not everything is scientific, but a good way to end the day.
Being a Blue Raider takes more than just coming ready to play. A Blue Raider doesn't just leave it all on the field. It's not just a matter of simply fighting for every inch. At their very core, a Blue Raider is true. Are you? Middle Tennessee celebrates 100 years of football this season. Rise up. Let them hear you in Floyd. Season tickets on sale now. Go BlueRaiders.com/tickets.
At Middle Tennessee State University, your love for biology can turn into a lifelong affair. In the classroom, you'll learn about life's building blocks, and in the field, you'll learn about life in a whole new way. Middle Tennessee's biology graduates have found amazing jobs in research, education, medicine, and so much more. This is just one community among many. Explore all that MTSU has to offer, devoted to student success. Middle Tennessee State University.
The world is changing every day, but the skills that matter will never change. The abilities to create, to think critically, to influence, and inspire. Alongside a premier faculty and award-winning peers, broaden your world at the College of Liberal Arts at Middle Tennessee State University.
At Middle Tennessee State University, music majors receive a world-class education from a renowned faculty. Students experience first-chair instruction no matter their instrument. Our graduates go on to share their gifts on stages worldwide and instruct the next generation of musicians, never forgetting that they found their forte at Middle Tennessee. This is just one community among many. Explore all that MTSU has to offer, devoted to student success. Middle Tennessee State University.
A new day dawns, Van Buren, Arkansas. Dr. Ricketts and his team prepare for a trip through Oklahoma and New Mexico. But the first priority is another stop at a TSC store in Van Buren.
And I'm not a tree hugger by any means, but I respect and God's creation and want it here, and I want it, in the same pristine condition that it used to be for my kids.
Turn right onto I-40 West.
It's back on I-40 west toward Oklahoma City. Cattle country and big lakes. Proximity of Tinker Air Force Base, home of the Air Force Materiel Command. And of course, cowpokes. That means it's time to refuel. Around here, there are remnants of filling up the old-fashioned way. And at another TSC stop, mighty friendly folk. Another photo op, and we're on our way.
So what we're doing is we're having to bring our own fuel.
Okay.
With C-130s flying overhead, Ricketts quickly turns to security and why he started his mission.
Yep.
But the Ayatollah took our hostages.
Back on the road again, it's time to leave Oklahoma City and head for Amarillo. So we bid farewell to the Oklahoma City skyline, driving through more cattle country and solar wind farms, another alternative energy source growing fast these days.
Ever since I started in '88, I've read about, hydrogen's fuel of the future.
This is rural Oklahoma, where Route 66 beckoned many travelers in the past, and where the controversial J.R. Graves raised hell, beckoning Baptist on the southern crossroads. Without a turbocharger, Dr. Ricketts is back in the Tercel pushing for Amarillo, where a gathering of people are waiting for him at the TSC store.
I called the manager and asked if anybody was there, and he said, yes, several people was there waiting on me.
Losing daylight, the team makes it to TSC just in time to sell hydrogen to a group of farmers and another reporter.
So the water goes in.
I think hydrogen is our future here, not ethanol or electric.
With these North Texas farmers closely inspecting the professor's modified engine, Dr. Ricketts doesn't shoot bull.
Until gas gets over $5 a gallon, I don't think we're going to get excited enough to make a whole lot of changes.
Being True Blue is giving your all on and off the court. My name is Ebony Rowe, and I am True Blue.
Being True Blue is embracing unique perspectives. My name is Iris Montez, and I am True Blue.
Being True Blue is helping students solve real-world problems. My name is Cliff Ricketts, and I am True Blue.
Being True Blue is making the world a safer place. My name is Sam Willie, and I am True Blue.
Being a Blue Raider takes more than just coming ready to play. A Blue Raider doesn't just leave it all on the field. It's not just a matter of simply fighting for every inch. At their very core, a Blue Raider is true. Are you? Middle Tennessee celebrates 100 years of football this season. Rise up. Let them hear you in Floyd. Season tickets on sale now. Go BlueRaiders.com/tickets.
Would you like to prepare students for the future and carry on the legacy of your favorite teachers? Middle Tennessee State University education students explore proven instructional methods and discover innovative tools and approaches that are changing the way children learn. Our graduates' extensive student teaching experience makes them highly sought after by schools throughout the Southeast. This is just one community among many. Explore all that MTSU has to offer, devoted to student success. Middle Tennessee State University.
The sun rises over Santa Rosa, New Mexico. America's transportation system never sleeps. Amid the barren landscape and natural beauty, the team prepares for day 4 of going coast to coast. And wherever the team travels, natural curiosity isn't far away.
Is that the tank in the back?
Yeah, that's one.
Is that right? Oh my gosh.
I work now with our 2 natural resources of sun and water.
We certainly wish you guys the best.
Thank you. I appreciate
Thank you very, very much. Good luck.
Westbound, guys.
Nothing but blue skies as Dr. Ricketts heads west on the open road, I-40 to Albuquerque, New Mexico.
I've worked on this for 22 years. I guess you could say I was slow.
Kit Carson Park in beautiful Albuquerque, the next media stop. Kit Carson is well known in these parts as the frontiersman and Indian fighter who explored the West to California, mapping a path for others to follow.
So we have a system in place so we can demonstrate to the country how every commuter could drive daily just off sun and water.
Well, I think hydrogen will be our savior as far as fuel goes in the long run.
The old Route 66 is memorialized along I-40 from Oklahoma to Los Angeles, California. It started in Chicago in the late 1920s and became one of the most famous roads in America. Many traveled west to escape the Dust Bowl for opportunity in California. By 1938, it had become the first highway to be completely paved. Mostly gone now, its memory lives on. One way the route is still memorialized is with roadside attractions like these. Westward expansion still moves across the New Mexico basin, beckoning anyone with courage and a dream. Dr. Ricketts has a dream that a nation will one day drive on sun and water.
I'm glad that you guys test drive, huh? That's good, very good. Yeah, my name is Thomas Chiquito. I live right here, Continental Divide area.
To most, this is Continental Divide. To Navajos, Thoreau.
Say moonshine.
Not that they know of.
It's out here that time and travel seems to lengthen. Narrow passes open up to even wider spaces, where long ago old Indian trails became American trails for wagon trains, forts, and the courage to confront the worst and best in nature.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, boom. We're in Arizona.
It is here where westward expansion and American dominance cast a long shadow, history's shadow. Day breaks in sunny California, the Rio del Sol. The team prepares for the last leg of their 2,600-mile trip across America. One last stretch to realize a dream.
Turn left onto the I-40 West, US 95 Red.
Ricketts has been working toward this day for 25 years.
Yeah, I started always, even as a child, wanted to run engines off water.
The idea has led to this day, a day across California's San Bernardino Valley, past the San Gabriel Mountains and the Mojave Desert.
We're only, look at it, 150 miles away from Long Beach at the present time. So what we try to do is try to get the tanks on the car down around 300 psi. That way we can get the most hydrogen that we can to transfer out of the storage tanks into the car tanks.
Pick up 91 West. It's pretty short, straight shot. And then I pick up 710 right into Long Beach.
Right into it.
You find a good, safe place when you want to refuel again. Because if we got some of these mountains, if I have to hit 35 mile an hour not to sail, there's a safety factor.
Right.
I believe that this trip is going to inspire a lot of people to take it to the next level.
Entrepreneur Rick Presley first got to know Dr. Ricketts in high school. He's applied some of Ricketts' ideas to his own business.
Water being the most abundant power source on Earth. I mean, hydrogen's all around us.
Presley knows water rather intimately. He and 3 aquanauts conducted research in an underwater habitat. Presley broke the record for the longest duration undersea as an aquanaut.
When I heard that Mr. Ricketts was going to take this trip, that's why I wanted to be a part of it, because I think he's bringing attention that is definitely needed on a commercial basis.
This is the 91 right here.
The 91. Yeah. Take the 91 right there, and let's just go on in.
I'm excited. Fill this tank up one more time. It's a long trip, coast to coast. The best opportunity I've ever had.
We got 10 miles away. All right.
Yeah! Woo! MTSU, baby!
One thing I can't control is this LA traffic. And this could cause a fuel problem. We've got 15 miles to play on based upon our calculations. I begin to feel it. We're about to get inside of the ocean.
In 0.2 miles, keep left on California 22.
It looks like in about 10 or 15 minutes, we're going to be at our destination. I'm looking over to the left now. We can't see it by the guardrails, but that's the Pacific Ocean. We started at the Atlantic Ocean 5 traveling days ago, 6 days ago. And I see the Long Beach area in front of us now.
A quarter-century of research is finally coming to a climax for a professor who long dreamed of driving down the highway on sun and water.
Hey, baby.
Turn right on Westminster Avenue.
Long Beach Boulevard. We hadn't got out of the cart and got in the ocean yet, but I want you to be the first to know. All right, I'll talk to you in a minute. We'll walk the rest of the way if we have to now, but we made it.
Continue 3.7 miles on West.
After years of tinkering in the shop and testing ideas, a plan few thought possible proves visions and dreams become tomorrow's success. One last downhill to the ultimate destination on the Pacific Ocean at Long Beach.
I finally reached my goal of going coast to coast on nothing but sun, which you have above us right here, and water on the beach right here. I've had a great support team of Terry Young and probably 50 or 60 students over the last 25 years working on different components of it. I feel like I've climbed Mount Everest. A lot of goals, a lot of challenges. No goals, no glory, but we've made it. And I feel good. I saw the sunrise at the Atlantic Ocean and felt the water, and I'm going to go feel the sunrise or the sunset of the Pacific Ocean and feel it. And I may let out some yell that people may think I've had a heart attack. Come on down. It's victory time, it's celebration time. Woo! Yeah! Woo-hoo! Yeah! Come here, gang. Let's get in the huddle right here. Come here. Put your hands together. Come here. Put your hands together. Here we go. Here, all together right here, like we do on the football team. Everybody come in. Come on. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yay! This may be too melodramatic, but I really believe this is one of the most historic things ever happened. So much of the world depends upon transportation, and we're so dependent upon foreign oil. And what I have shown is with just sun and water that we can run vehicles all across the country.
Congratulations, sir.
I have not felt this good in 2 or 3 years. I have had so many obstacles. I have had so many communication problems. We have had so many challenges. And if it wasn't for Terry and the good Lord, I think I'd have had a nervous breakdown. But I think I'm going to be able to get off a lot of medication now.
Congratulations, Terry.
I have such a peace of mind that I've worked at something so long to able to accomplish it that I think will have such implications for mankind. And man, I appreciate my whole team that helped me pull this off. Everybody that did the refueling, everybody that did the calculations, everybody that gave me advice on changing and getting through station points and everything. It all took a total team effort, and I appreciate all of it. We have now come 2,600 miles. I'm in the Pacific with water and the same sun in our back, and we have crossed the country off nothing but sun and water, and it feels good.